A civil war is engulfed in Spectre, and British spy James Bond is now caught in the crossfires. Today, we look at the Dynamite Comics series 007 Agent of Spectre. The story starts on a ferry in the English Channel when Bond is trying to capture a suspect who has a briefcase on them. The man, named Winston, is a Spectre agent and, unfortunately, he perishes in the fight with Bond. But 007 gets the briefcase. He goes back to MI6 headquarters and meets M and Moneypenny. They are trying to take down Spectre, and the briefcase contains info of someone named Number 1 in Paris. Number 1 is the leader of Spectre, Ernest Blofield. Bond is sent to Paris to capture him. After a gunfight in the hotel suite in Paris, Bond is attacked from behind, and his attacker is none other than Blofield. Blofield explains he doesn't want to kill Bond, not yet. He needs his help, because he wants Bond to kill Number 7 Inspector, a woman named Tatiana Jones. She wants to move up in the organisation and is planning a coup against Blofield. Blofield wants Bond to kill her, and he has a plan to get Bond to agree to it. Bond of course refuses at first, but Blofield warns him that he has his people watching his friend, CIA agent Felix Leiter, and he will have him killed if Bond refuses. Bond agrees to help his enemy. Bond had gone to Washington DC to break into the house of a Harlan Clark who did security on Miss Jones's home, and he hopes to find information on ways to bypass the security. He took fingerprints from one of the workers the day before, and that is how he can get into the house. But after he gets in, the building goes into lockdown, and James has to fight his way out of the building, and he kills Harlan Clark. We learn that James is playing off the books here for this mission. M and Moneypenny know about it, but M can't condone it, so if James is caught, he will be disavowed and considered a traitor. James tells Blofield that Miss Jones will be at a charity event tomorrow. He goes and meets Miss Jones, and he calls himself John Wakeman. He mentions something about Ukraine to her that isn't public knowledge yet, and it spooks her. It turns out she is investigating Ukrainians for the death of Harlan Clark. She leaves him after rejecting his advances and loses her security details and returns to James. Miss Jones knows that James isn't who he says he is. He mentioned Ukraine to get her attention. He admits that he has an offer for her, but before he can say anything, he feels a gun at the back of his head and the sound of a familiar American accent. It's Felix Leiter. It turns out Felix is protecting Miss Jones, who is now beginning to draw a gun from her purse and aims it at the back of Felix's head, and James takes the shot. He doesn't shoot Miss Jones, he has shot his friend Felix in the head, who is stunned as he falls backwards to the ground. Tatiana starts shooting at James and yells at him about killing a CIA agent. The two get in a fistfight until James gets the drop on her and offers her a deal. He tells her Blofield has hired him to kill her, and for the right price, James will kill Blofield for Jones. Security arrive at that moment, and Tatiana leads them away and takes James back to her home. She learns that he is MI6 and his real name. Her contact in the CIA has informed her that Felix is dead. She said she will triple the offer for Bond to kill Blofield, and the two end up in bed. James goes back to his hotel and tells Blofield the truth. He says he will kill Blofield for triple the offer, but he tells Blofield it's a trick. James explains to Blofield that she will go to Greece to kill him, and Blofield will then have the drop on her. Blofield agrees to this plan. It is revealed that Felix Leiter is alive, and it turns out that James only grazed his skull. He has a mild concussion. James explains that Tatiana was going to kill him and that she is a Spectre agent. He explains that a civil war is brewing in the organisation and he is playing them off against each other. The two shake hands and James leaves, saying he will bring all of Spectre down. James meets Blofield in Greece and explains that Tatiana is coming here because it turns out she put a tracking chip in James's back when they were in bed together. Suddenly, a helicopter appears and the two manage to bring it down. The two get away in the car, choppers are following them, and they're blowing up the road in front of them. The two jump out of the car at the last moment as it goes up a ramp and it crashes into a helicopter, destroying it. They check the wreckage and Tatiana is not in the chopper, but they know she is close by. The two of them travel to Blofield's island, which has his own soldiers and lab, and they discover that Titiana is not only in Greece, but she is on the island as well. Suddenly, gunfire erupts, killing Bloomfield's men. The shooters were also Bloomfield's men, and they surround the two. Titiana arrives, seeing some of Bloomfield's men have joined her. Bloomfield sets off explosions on his island as he runs away. James and Titiana, who is now wearing an armoured suit, fight, and James manages to throw her off a ledge, presumably to her death. James runs from the base as explosions continue to rip through it. James makes it outside, and at that moment Titiana attacks him again. James manages to blind her, and he offers her a deal. She will tell him all about Spectre, and she will be taken off the island to freedom. She agrees, but is executed from behind by Bloomfield, who agrees that she wasn't a Spectre agent. James and Bloomfield fight, and Bloomfield says he knew that Felix's death was fake, and he had already sent agents to kill him, but James always suspected this, and luckily Moneypenny was there to save Felix. James manages to defeat Bloomfield as he is engulfed in an explosion, and using the last boat he escapes and watches as the island is destroyed. Back at MI6, Moneypenny explains that Felix has smoothed the relationship with the Americans, and M has explained to his high-uppers. They are happy with the outcome. They explain Spectre will be at a lower now, and they need to find the moles inside the government. We then cut to a scene in Switzerland. A group of people are welcoming the new number 7 into their group, and we feel that number 1 is here. Bloomfield appears. He is still alive. And that concludes the breakdown of Agent of Spectre, a James Bond graphic novel published by Dynamite Comics. And I love this comic. I think the story is amazing, the characters are well written, it's violent, and it could be a great film if they ever decided to go with the comics. And thank you for watching. Also subscribe to the channel and like the video.